Hi, I'm Rick Carter. I'm the ringmaster here at Moonshots. Welcome to Your Business 2.0. Today, we're talking to a number of members of the collective at Moonshots, a group of creatives who drive business growth and aim to develop global businesses. In particular, we're focusing on a program that we have going at Rove in South Australia to create an entire new industry.
Well, it's a bit different from most accountants. I'm a chartered accountant to start with, so I qualified about 30 years ago. But that was after serving in the Royal Navy for 5 years, and I flew Sea King helicopters. Got a bit too dangerous for me, so I came out and went from the ridiculous to the sublime, as they say. So studied as a chartered accountant, worked with the government in the UK to start off with, but then joined Virgin. I joined Richard Branson back in 94. At Virgin Atlantic, and was their first divisional accountant looking after their airports division. And from there, I started doing cost-benefit analysis of various projects. And people said, well, that looks like a good project to do. It looks like it's going to make some money. Can you do it, please? And so I ended up running all the projects and running the airport services for Virgin. Came down here in 2000, started Virgin Blue, the predecessor to Virgin Australia, who are obviously in strife at the moment. But since then, I've been running businesses, buying businesses, and doing my own thing. So currently, I'm working for the CFO Centre. Now, the CFO Centre has 700 CFOs globally. We have 5 here in South Australia. And we provide part-time CFOs for organisations that are looking to grow. And what we do is we offer a CFO for the price of a bookkeeper. So we work a day a week or a day a fortnight within organisations as an employee, working on the business with the owner, trying to help them achieve their goals and their ambitions. So we put in place a strategic plan with that owner, and we actually make them meet their strategic objectives. So we hold monthly management meetings where we provide financial information on the business. And from that, we'll measure how the business is moving towards achieving its strategic goals and aims. And generally, that's helping an owner to increase the asset value of his business, helping him to achieve better cash flows, helping them to get a better valuation when they sell their business, and all in all, ensuring that the business is run in a more effective and efficient manner. So about 10 years ago, I got involved with an organisation called SA Angels. And SA Angels was a loose bunch of investors that wanted to put money into startup and entrepreneurial organisations. And it was a bit like a Shark Tank or Dragon's Den, where we get people to come along and present their business ideas and we critique them. And at the end of the day, nobody actually invested any money because it was just too difficult to get any arrangements in place. So I went off and did my own thing. So I went off and invested into a recording studio. I invested into a health and well-being business. I made my own investments. And from that, I discovered what it's like to be a business owner. And it is hard. Those difficult challenges you make, or the difficult decisions you have to make when people are not performing or when they're not pulling in the same direction. And I discovered very quickly that from some very good advice that was given to me that there's a very easy way of making a high-performing team, and that's to get people emotionally engaged with a common vision. It's a very simple thing to do, or to say rather, very hard thing to do. So getting people emotionally engaged with that common vision, it's terribly difficult. But organisations like Branson, they've achieved it at Virgin. Apple's achieved it, Facebook, Google, all these high-flying digital companies, they're all very emotionally engaged with their common vision. So the first thing I'll do with an organization is sit down and work out what it is they want to achieve and how they're going to get there. So taking those lessons and putting them to good use. I've also learned over the years that it's very easy to make a small fortune from a business. You just start with a large one. And that happens so often in business is that people, they start with a great idea, they start with a lot of capital behind them, and suddenly they just don't have enough money to make the next payroll check. So helping business is not to grow bust, and that's something that we focus on quite a lot at the CFO Centre, is that we make sure that businesses have the right capital structure in place, the right access to capital funding, and the right processes in place to ensure that they don't grow bust through lack of cash. So about a year ago, I suppose, I was sat on my deck at the back of my house with a very good friend, drinking a glass of beautiful South Australian red wine. You can't get anything other than beautiful South Australian red wine in this state. We ship all the rubbish overseas. But the South Australian red wine we have here is amazing. And we were talking about how I've been invited to be a mentor on a program called the Founders Institute. And the Founder Institute started 10 years ago back in California. They put 3,000 companies through their program. And there's a few statistics that go around the business world about how startups fail within the first 3 years. And generally, 80% of all startups that start fail after 3 years, and they don't exist anymore. However, the Founder Institute have their really tough program that they put founders through. And over 85% of Founder Institute businesses are still in existence 3 years later. So it's a really good program, very challenging. And I was trying to convince one of my friends that this was a great opportunity to be a mentor to these companies. And he just said to me, well, if you think it's so good, why don't you put an idea through yourself? So we, over a glass of wine and probably too many glasses of wine, we decided that we'd put through a business called Feasible. We came up with an idea for crowdfunding for education services, and that's been doing really well. So Feasible is a crowdfunding service for education institutions. It doesn't do the same as GoFundMe. So GoFundMe would look at an individual, whereas we look at the institutions that provide educational services. And that's all the way from schools, universities, colleges, to even some of the more remote communities that we're looking to help fund with crowdfunding for their projects. Moonshots is an incredible organisation. Rick, I'm not obviously telling you anything you don't know. So Moonshots brings together a wide range of skills. I've got a number of businesses that I'm trying to introduce through to Moonshots. So one of those businesses is a health and wellbeing business that we've already set up with one of the digital marketing companies here in Moonshots as a partnership there. So they're working on digitally marketing that business, and we've achieved, and I can say this quite categorically because I do the numbers, over 400% increase in sales in 3 months of working with this digital marketing business. Now, that's from a very low base, of course. That's why I asked them to have a look at it. But that's just an incredible result.